action. I can't do it. I can't.
He looked right at you.
Like,
Yeah. I don't
All
know.
right, so we're talking Final Destination.
Bloodlines. I watched
Yeah.
all the Final Destination movies leading up to this.
Final Destination, generic
Yeah.
word here, but it's the same movie
Yeah.
as the last 5.
The first one was great. I hated 2. 3 had Mary Elizabeth Winstead, so obviously number
You're
1
back.
in my head.
You're back
yeah,
in.
back in. Roller coasters. Roller coaster death scene.
That's right.
Mary
Oh,
Elizabeth
yeah.
Winstead.
God, yeah.
I haven't seen those in so long.
I literally just watched 4. Couldn't tell you what it's about.
That's my
Could
problem
not
with them.
fucking tell you what it's about.
They all become the same.
Yep.
And we did a review earlier for Ballerina, and just because that's current too, but to dip in, those John Wick movies, while they're all the same, they feel different.
They are different.
And you
Well,
can
because
go, oh, that happened in the second one. Oh, and that happened in the first one.
they
Final
follow a
Destination,
plot line.
right? But it's like, hey, remember when the truck hit the wall and exploded the guy? Yeah, which one was that? Could be all of them, and you might be right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my issue with these movies.
Yep. Yep.
And this is another, we're changing the franchise and we're twisting it up, and you're not going to know what's coming. It's the same movie. It's the same movie.
Yeah. And we were done, right? We were like,
We were the one before actually
we
wrapped
we
it.
looped back
all the way to the
We
very
looped
beginning.
back to the
Spoilers,
beginning.
sorry. If
Yeah.
it's like 15
Yeah,
years
yeah.
old.
No, but no.
which was cool. But
It's actually not a bad movie, which is why it
and
did
that's
the best.
4.
I believe 4.
This is 5.
I think. I'm forgetting.
Or this
There's-
is 6.
Is it 6 or 5?
I think it's 6.
Either way, the last
lost
one
count.
should have been the last one, but it made too much money because it was actually pretty good and people liked it.
But that was still like 10 years after the one prior to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like when we first started everybody needing nostalgia about 10 years ago. Because
yeah.
we've been in that for about 10
Yeah.
years now. That was one of the first. Like when Scream came back the first time,
Yes.
only to come back again 10 years later again. You know what I mean? Same kind of deal.
Or Halloween, Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
God. Stop.
X that one out.
Every movie
It's a
ever.
monkey's paw because there's
Yep.
things like Futurama we get back, which are good.
True.
And then there's things like like
Karate Kid, Jurassic Park.
And this, honestly, I didn't hate this movie, but I couldn't tell you the difference between this and the rest of them.
Newer. It looks newer.
It looks better.
Honestly, that's
Better
the only
CGI.
discernible difference. Yeah. Like the kills were okay.
there
Like
was
I
nothing-
remember we get like lawnmower kill.
Mhm.
That's like about the only kill I
See,
remember, really. Like, and I saw this movie when it came out. You guys saw it a bit later, so it's probably fresher in your heads than
A
it is
little.
mine.
I
Maybe.
saw it just a day or two after you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
I remember
So-
the end and the CPR and the whole pretending because they went right back to the other movie tropes about how to
Yeah.
escape. See, that's my issue. Is like
Yeah.
they didn't change anything.
No.
We're gonna change it up, but you didn't.
No, and full spoiler, we didn't get reveals like
Not
of
really.
who Tony Todd even is
Right.
in these movies.
Like he's implied his death. Obviously, we know that.
But
But
I
I mean, they
needed
don't
an
give us
answer.
or anything. The freaking Barbie movie let the Barbie creator give dolls life.
Yeah.
We
Where was
couldn't
that
get
for Final
Tony Todd
Destination?
to like put on a Grim Reaper thing, open a doorway to
Dressed in all black or something? Nothing?
Something.
Nothing.
Like,
That's-
oh yeah,
that
he's
was-
always a morgue guy. Cool, but you know what I'm trying to say,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
they can take those liberties in the Barbie movie.
but not in
Give me an
these.
answer.
But not in
I
these.
want an
Or
answer.
like just
Like,
another peek behind
yeah.
the curtain.
Right. Something that alludes to an
Pay a
answer.
little homage to the guy.
Yeah.
Anything.
Something.
Yeah.
No, he's going to show up, say some bullshit like he always does in every one of these movies, and leave.
And then dip out.
And then he's like, actually, I'm the kid from the beginning of this movie. Like, that's not a reveal. It's not like this kid has been building up. We've been referencing this, like, movie that completely ripped off Drop, which was a new movie that came out a couple months ago where they're in this like sky tower restaurant
yeah.
thing that explodes or whatever. You know, it's like, guys, you introduced this kid at the beginning of this movie. I don't give a fuck that kid is like actually Tony Todd. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. Sorry, am I supposed to? Like,
Well, that's again. I can't get over that we're doing it again because I feel like we wrapped everything up.
right? We did wrap everything up.
And
We
for
came
this
full
to-
circle.
But then, like this person, this grandma, and all these people know about the other time and the other people nostalgia bait,
Right.
And how they escaped it, maybe nostalgia bait. Like,
Right.
So then why did the
It
other
was
movies happen?
It was like about to make a complete circle, and right before it got to the end point, it like started coming down, and then like now it's doing like loops and stuff. And we're just like, when do you get back to that end point? You know what I mean? Like you'll never get back to there. Like we had it, and then it's like
no, because
now let's do new stuff. What? Like
it's hard
why?
enough to have a good. We were joking earlier, like about John Wick having an actual through plot.
There's a through line to
Right.
follow. There's no through line
Most
in
horror
Final
movies don't really
Destination.
have that. Think Friday the 13th.
Okay,
Think the Halloween movies. Yes, there is
Halloween does.
there is a thing that kind of happened, but for the most part, those don't really. You can just shove 100 movies in between and put whatever you want on
Yeah.
it and make it.
Yeah.
Much.
These kind of walk that. They had the original set kind of had a big old, nice complete circle
Yeah.
with a narrative.
Right.
Whether you liked it or not, it was a complete narrative. So it made them more than just stupid movies that are the same copy repeat. Because that's all this felt like.
Right.
Yeah.
Just felt like let's do the other ones again, but
Like,
with newer technology.
What if instead of this time, instead of logs on a semi truck,
Uh-huh.
logs on a train?
What?
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not new and fresh and wait for these exciting, cool kills if you're a horror fan. Like, you guys, that's not even really amping it up much. You know, like, what if we took this 9 and made it a 9-1?
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, thank you, I guess. It just, everything was so, like, hey, the fake out. We can fake death out by, like, killing the person and then bringing them
They
back.
have to stop
And then they
breathing.
do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
we did all of this.
We've done this.
It's
We've done this, and it was a great reveal the first time you did it.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, it's the thing from the other movies. Like,
just
but somehow
Well, it becomes
knowledge
copy
that they
and
have.
paste.
Yeah.
So how, and they've already kneecapped themselves by doing the time
Yeah.
thing from the 60s.
Yeah.
And then the jump to the front with the ground. So you've already
Right.
already
You
cut
filled in the ends. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you already did that. So how are we going to go back and fix all that and try to loop it all together like the original set? Like I don't understand the point of this movie.
I think
It's
as
like,
even just a franchise, I want it to be like, I've said this to so many people. I need it to be like a visible entity. Like, I don't even care if it was just like, hey, it's a ghost, you know, that's making all this shit happen. Something other than just like, it's a force. It's just the death.
you're looking for like more of an actual
I want a ghost.
bad guy.
I want
kind of.
fucking Dracula behind the curtain causing all these deaths.
Well, that's what I mean.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
I think the Tony Todd character could have been
that.
the whole time he's supposed to be death. So
Right.
he's always constantly giving them advice.
Right.
Or you know, more or
Because
less.
he's just playing with his food.
That's why didn't they lean more into that?
I don't know.
See,
That's what I
that's-
want. Like,
And they
give
don't
me
even
that.
have to show him.
Give me that.
You're right. Like I'm saying, like I think it would at the end of the movie, if he puts on a Grim Reaper robe and you fade to black, you'd be like,
Damn.
yes.
and it fills all the rest of the back
Yes.
stuff in.
Yep. That's all I want. Otherwise, it's just like death. You know. Like the Force. Like it's not like a thing.
I love that you keep calling it the Force. It's really
Well, it's
fun.
a force.
I know,
it's
but
just
I
a
mean,
force. It's not like a guy like
No.
behind the curtain like that I can look at.
Which again,
you
I know people are gonna comment and go, Tony Todd. Like
I know, I get that, but the movie itself. This is the last movie with Tony Todd in it.
Yes.
That is
doesn't mean you could have
impossible.
given a little depth to it.
something.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that's all I'm at. I know it's he's
Because
supposed
really,
to be
what,
dead. I
what
get
you're
it.
doing is it's like you can't escape death, but you're on this. You're basically on a timeline, and you're interrupting. You can look at it from a sci-fi instead of
Yeah.
horror, and you're interrupting the timeline of
Right.
the gods or the angels or
Right.
whatever. So they need to put you back on the correct timeline.
Right.
But you're still like, but who's doing?
But
that?
who's doing that?
It's
I know.
Just doing
I know.
it.
Online, everyone's like, it's Tony Todd, but I'm like, but I need you to say it. Like I'm like an FBI agent wearing a wire. I'm like, you're gonna rob that bank, and they're like, yeah. No. But I need you to say that you're going to
I need
rob
you
the
to say,
bank.
What's the Bob's Burgers? Grade A. I need you to say it's
Yeah.
grade A sirloin.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I was like, I need somebody on the Final Destination team to be like, yes, Tony Todd is dead. Like otherwise, it's
Well,
just fan theory, you know. And
right.
I don't want that.
Well, I just think
I
me,
want
it just
answers.
It adds substance to
Yeah.
it. Like otherwise, it's just like it's just an accident horror movie,
Right.
Where like
Right.
it does. It feels like a timeline rebalancing thing.
Yeah.
If you ever seen Adjustment Bureau, it feels like the horror version of that.
Right. But who's doing it?
Right. And
like,
like
I have to know.
we could go. They've only. You're right. They've only scratched the surface because you could really get into why you can't beat death. Maybe they find a book. Maybe Tony Todd explains something to them. Maybe they go down some kind of Mayan temple thing. You know what I mean? They do that freaking Transformers, for God's sakes. You can't do it in Final Destination. To me, it's too surface level. And I know we sound like snarky assholes but I don't mean it like, but there's no like really. The first Final Destination, I genuinely really like. It was a cool concept for the time. Yeah, they really lean into Tony Todd is the one doing it. And then you got 18 more, and then now it's ruined.
Right.
But this wasn't new. This wasn't fresh. This wasn't exciting. It was another generic.
I didn't take any chances. Like, the kills weren't even that cool.
No,
like,
think about the ones, and they weren't good movies. But what was the one that we just watched? The Monkey.
Yeah.
From a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Now, was that a good movie?
No.
Did they have way more? At least did they swing for eventful kills and really cool shit?
Nice. Monkey swing. Nice.
But some of their stupid Rube Goldberg machines they'd have for kills were crazy. Some were stupid, some were cool, but at least they took a chance and did dumb, stupid shit.
Right.
Same with Slaughterhouse from a couple years ago. Those feel more. I'd rather see those and then be than see this and on a bigger budget. There's nothing original.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, in those movies, it's like the sloth is doing the killings. Like, I can see that and be like, I hate the sloth. You know what I mean? In the monkey, it's like, oh, this monkey is clearly possessed by
like even the monkey one, they don't. It's a force, but clearly yours like the monkey's doing it.
But there's a thing controlling it.
Right.
There's like a vessel that I can visibly look at, and it goes, I do this, and then things happen. In Final Destination, it's just like, take out this, and just the thing happens. Like,
you see,
you're it's a personal thing,
but you're explaining it in a way that people are going to bitch. But I know what you're asking for is context to the thing.
Give me context to the kills. Right.
Any kind of backstory.
Right.
Jason, Freddy, they all have at least this much backstory. This is just kind of like, you can't escape death because that's the way life works, Ryan.
I need, during one of the kills, they just like look over. Like, maybe right
see,
before
like,
they're
Tony Todd, like in the,
no, it doesn't even have to be Tony Todd.
So I'm telling you, I already wrote the end.
It can just be guy in black hood
walking away with the black hood, and then you're like, oh,
and
shit,
for
death,
and probably for the end of the movie, he could have did what he just told him to do.
Literally, like, that's all I needed.
And I'm gonna spoil the ending because
I don't remember the ending.
The movie sucked.
So
everybody dies.
Oh, is that what it is?
At the very end, like, because she fakes out with and he has to give her CPR. Her heart never stopped completely. Somehow death didn't know that until the audience knew that. That's what he's trying to convey. And I understand where you're coming from.
You can't pick and choose.
And they're going to attack you for being simplistic. But what he's saying is, you can't. How come death? Like, back to the first couple movies when the one girl doesn't die, and you get to, I think, the second one, and she's like in a padded room because she's trapped herself away, and somehow death's left her alone,
right?
Because death will leave you alone for some reason if you don't bother people. That doesn't make it.
Well, because there's nothing in there that could kill her. Is like the mentality. So when girly from the second one comes to visit,
both ways, because if death just wanted you to die, couldn't it just be like, you're dead?
You're
now?
Dead.
Why do I need the ceiling to fall into the puddle to hit the wire to electrocute the thing for the door to open? What the hell?
Just go and you're dead.
Right. Which I know you'd be like, it's the movie, but that's why he's saying, I need more context. I need a reason. Why? What happens when people get saved at the last second? Does that mean death always comes back and gets them? Because I can think of real world examples where someone has been saved at the last second and they live for 80 more years and then die of old age. Why in these specific movies is it if someone saves these people, anytime someone saves someone, you're screwed now. We're coming for you because you got, like, why?
Yeah, why do they have the visions in the first place?
Why are they getting a warning?
This is what I want to know.
Right. Why do they get to be blessed in this family bloodline? All these people get to have these visions and these dreams for what? Only if it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Have the vision. I'm still going to get you. Then why even have the vision?
Like, even in this movie where it's like, okay, if Tony Todd is death, Tony Todd is the kid from the beginning of this movie who was saved by the old lady who's the mom of our main character in this movie, right? But death is still trying to kill the old lady who saved Tony Todd. So then Tony Todd can't be death. Right? Like, old lady saves young Tony Todd. If Tony Todd is death, why is he still trying to kill old lady who's hunkered down in, like, war cabin?
Subverting your expectations?
Or the viewers, the internet is just wrong and he's not death and he's just some creepy ass fucking morgue guy. Why would death still be trying to kill sheltered old lady if she saved him? from a situation that he put himself in? What? No.
Well, that's what I mean. The whole thing.
He can't be dead.
You're looking for rules, and I agree with you.
But they're setting up the rules.
Right, but they're not. Because they do it both ways.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They don't have... They have their feet in both, which isn't fair.
Right. It's like, oh,
I
is
wanna
Tony Todd
know-
dead? Like, no, because he wouldn't be putting himself in that situation, or did that situation make him death? Which would have been cool. Probably fucking not, because we don't explore that at all. Like, if you saved me from a life or death situation and I became death, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to kill him. He saved me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to try everything I can in my power to fucking kill you. Like,
Unless it's supposed to be a...
I don't know. I think that literally throws that theory out the window. Like, they answered the question and they said, fucking no.
I gotta rewatch
No, he's
it.
not death. Death is trying to kill the lady who saved Tony Todd at the beginning of this fucking movie. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? So Tony Todd's not death. So who's death?
Here we have to bleep. We can beep. You've got me now.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the old lady, like she goes to get like the information and it's like the grandmother or whatever, and she's in that like, it's got like the spikes on the building and there's just like fortified traps everywhere. Like, that old lady is the one who saved him as a kid. So why would she need to protect herself when she's like, I saved death? Like, why would death still be after her if death is the kid who she saved?
We really need to like go down this rabbit hole now.
We need to go down this rabbit hole because
really
I need
do.
the answers. And if the answer is Tony Todd is death, you're wrong. Because this movie tells you that's wrong. Like,
Dear God.
and it's not like, oh, is he the kid? It's like, yes, he's the kid. He tells you in the movie that he's the fucking kid.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
so he can't be death. Otherwise,
Unless-
if he is, that'd be really fucking stupid.
Unless it's supposed to be like, even then, you can't save yourself from death, even if... But again, that doesn't... But you're leaving us with more, again... What,
I have
why,
more questions.
Why are there... What are the rules?
What are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules? What are the rules?
Because I would think if you really wanted to make it different,
Yeah.
the movie, they managed to avoid death, right, and get saved.
Right.
Then they stumble onto something ancient, old, somebody, Tony
Yep.
Todd, whatever, tells them something.
Yep.
Now they understand why things have to happen. Maybe they have to put a soul in their plate, whatever
Right,
trophy
right,
thing you want to go.
right.
But establish a way that they can actually be saved, because these movies always end with two battle characters
Yeah, they
are gonna
die anyway.
So I'm glad you sat there for 2 hours and watched these two specifically dodge every possible death that could happen to them, only for us to go and kill them. Credits.
The only time somebody gets away is the first movie, but then she just dies in the second one.
Literally.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
like,
see what you're saying.
what's
I
the
know.
point?
I know. What's the point? Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? If Tony Todd isn't death, then what is? Then death is just death. It's just a force that we
And
can't
that's what I'm
see.
saying. People are like, yeah, don't you understand? But then like that's I don't want to. Then what's the point of suffering along with the character,
Right. Right.
or these groups of characters every single time,
Every single time.
just to have all the characters be dead?
There's like lack of stakes the more and more movies they
That's
make.
what I mean.
Because it's like, well, they're just all gonna fucking die anyway.
That's why those movies suck now. The
Yeah.
horror movie where I got to drive across the bridge to talk to the old lady that used to own the doll or live in the house or had the son or whatever,
Yeah.
was married to the guy who blew his brains out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't work when you make 10 of them because
Right.
it kills the lore and
Right.
it makes it not special. And then you're down the...
It's like, we're just gonna do the same thing. The kills are gonna be on par, if not worse, than the other movies
Yeah, there
somehow.
wasn't anything special. I'm going to give this movie... Boy, I'm throwing heat today. I'm going to give this movie a 3.
Wow,
Ooh.
dang.
I was looking forward to this because I like the other movies.
Yeah.
For the most part, you're right. It falls off a cliff after
Yeah,
the
big
first
time.
one. But it's like the first and the
Except for
last
3
one.
with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
They're still decent. And as a kid, I love those movies.
Yep. 3, huh? Wow. Yeah.
I was angry.
Yeah. See, I didn't grow up with this franchise.
Right.
Like, I speed ran the Final Destination movies
You're like, all right, it's all
the
right.
week before. And I'm like, yeah, they kind of suck, but they're
Yeah.
fun. You know, they're like dumb horror movies.
You're right, though, comparing it to Saw.
Yeah.
Like, I like the first 3. I think Saw as a trilogy actually works really well. And the
Yeah.
first Saw movie is one of the greatest thrillers
Yeah.
Yes.
of all time, suspense-wise.
Mhm.
But then they made like 11 of them.
19.
And now
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
19
like-
sauce. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
But
Only
see-
reason why I'm giving it a 3.5 because it was Tony Todd's last movie.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah, I
reason.
felt
Yeah.
bad. You know,
They did nothing with him, though.
That
could've
was my guy, man.
Yeah.
That was my
Could have
guy.
done anything.
I feel bad for him because they like just didn't do anything with his character.
They didn't do him a good service.
No, there wasn't a good send off. There wasn't like,
No.
yes, I am
They
dead.
only gave him like a little space and time to be like, Tony, if there's anything you want to say to the audience, go ahead. And I'm just like, well, that's cool, but
Yeah,
that's all I got.
yeah, that's all we
all I
get.
got.
Yeah, I got to give it at least a 4. I think 3 is pretty low because it is. They have dumb kills. Kills are kind
They
of fun.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some
guy
of
gets
it's-
sucked into the fucking MRI machine. That was awesome.
They're fun, but I don't know. Like I said,
It's-
it was sold as like, oh,
Bloodlines.
We redefined it, guys.
It's called
But did you,
Bloodlines.
though?
Like Bloodlines makes it sound like, hey, we're gonna wrap all this shit up. We're gonna tie it in a nice little bow.
Well, give
Everything's
us
connected.
The context you're looking for. Hey, this is the family where all of these all come from because they all have visions because they can fight death.
And everybody who's died in the past movies are descendants of this
Right.
family.
This
Nope.
is what I'm thinking going in. Like, seriously. Then you're like, oh, you can tie this all together and actually make this. No, we're not doing that at all.
No.
We're not doing that at all.
No. And also, we're not going to give you answers about who Death is and basically say that the internet is fucking wrong about Tony Todd
And
being
you're not
dead.
allowed, and no matter what, again, you can't escape it. And then the next movie is going to be some teen has a vision about a thing happening, avoids the thing, death comes after them.
Kills them
they
off
look
one
up
by
the
one.
last movie, try to do all of those things, think it works, to be killed right before the credits.
Yeah.
That is Final Destination.
Yep. That's been the last 6 movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, though.
Cookie
Maybe
cutter.
just make someone. I'm saying I agree with you 100%. Context.
I
Give
need
us
the
something.
context.
Give us a
Anything.
victory. Give us
Yep.
someone winning without locking themselves in a nut house.
Yep.
And explain why death can't get to them. Then how come when someone goes to feed them, they have to eat to live? Right? They don't choke on the thing.
Nope.
Why?
I don't know.
See,
That's the writers. Why? I don't know.
it's literally get off my back.
Yeah. Well, let me get off that thing. Yeah. Fucking Final Destination. Internet, you're wrong. Tony Todd's not dead. Prove
Super
me wrong. Prove me wrong. This movie said you're wrong.
I'm sorry, Tony.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy.